Hello and welcome to another Igloo imaging tutorial. This one is on glossy logos. You've probably seen them all over YouTube. I'm going to take this 2D Q logo and turn it into a 3D glossy Q logo. If you're new to Illustrator, this might be quite complicated, but I'm going to go through everything so you should be able to follow along. First thing I'm going to do is show you the colors that I've been using. If you want to hit pause, add these colors to your swatches. You can go through each bit, the gradient locations, things like that, but I'll come to this one in a second. So if you want to hit pause and get those on your swatches. Okay, great. Your artboard, by the way, if you want to follow along exactly, is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. And the first thing we're going to do is look at this background. Just get yourself a rectangle, draw one corner to the other corner, and we're going to color drop or select this gradient that we've already added. If you can't see gradient, transparency, strokes, pathfinders, things like that, they're all underneath windows. If you want to hit pause and just copy what I've got, then you can do that, no problem. So the background, we drag the gradient from almost from the top down to the bottom, and this is what it looks like. So we've got the lighter grey with these values on the left. We've then got a white with the gradient sliders in roughly this location. We've then got another white and the darker grey with the gradient sliders in that location as well. So once you've got that background in place, you can hit Command 2, which locks it. In the new Illustrator 2021, there's now a different way to unlock things, but there's another tutorial on that if you want to check that one out. So what I'm going to do here is grab these two, shrink them down and pop them over here as a reference. So the first thing I'm going to do is select an ellipse. It could be underneath your rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a circle. Now that's drawn me a circle with the last gradient that I've used. So in here I'm just going to hit black. Then I'm going to drag that fill color over to the stroke, and I'm going to dump the fill color and change the stroke to about 150, maybe 120. And with that selected, I'm going to then go up to the line segment tool, and I'm going to click and drag holding shift. That keeps it to 45 degrees. And want something along the lines of that. Actually, I'm going to bump it back up to 150, so change that to 150. Yeah, that looks better. Now, if you zoom in a bit using Z and just select this line and press Command Y, you'll see I want that sort of center point there to be over the line. So I'm just going to use the cursors and move it up there for now. Press Command Y again. That looks fine. Okay, now select everything with V and go up to Objects, Expand, Fill and Strokes, fine. And then select this object here and press Command C, Command Shift V, which is copy and paste in place. I'm just going to change it to a different color, and we're going to drag the gray over to the stroke. And we're going to pump this stroke up to around, let's have a look, around 40 pixels. Then go up to Object and Expand, click OK. Pathfinder tool is what you want next, and you want the Unite. So we're going to unite that grey shape. And then with V, I'm going to select the grey shape and the black, and I'm going to go to minus front, which chops out a section for our Q. I'm then going to select this shape here, press A, and you'll see these rounded corner marks here. Just drag this one. Oop, I need to just direct select that corner, so it's just that one, and drag it in as far as you can. Maybe not all the way there, that's fine. And then we can select it, and holding shift we can just drag it out if we want. I've made it a little bit short, so I maybe need to make it longer. So with direct select these 2 points here, click and drag holding shift, and we'll just pull it out a little bit further, and then select the whole object, holding shift, we'll move it out a little bit further. That looks about right. Okay, so what we're going to do now is select both the shapes and squash things down to around there. Okay, and we can go ahead and add a gradient color if we want to, the ones we've already got pre-programmed in, and select your grey over here. And your gradient on this one wants to run from this edge down to there. In fact, we can go ahead and make this gradient, select this one here, which is 90%. We can make that 95%. So we've got, those are the values on the left, and these are the values on the right. So with these two selected, what I'm going to do is hold Alt, so press V, select that one, hold Shift and select that one, and then press click and press Alt and Shift. And we're going to drag it down. Let's just change the color of them to grey. Press Command Shift and the left square bracket, and just press Command and the right square bracket. That'll just bring it back up one. Now we want to move it down until we're happy with the depth that we're going to get. So that looks about right. Now the first thing I'm going to do is separate these up, because I want them to be separate shapes. They don't need to be exact, because the messy bits are going to be hidden by this top color. So I'm going to go ahead and select this shape with A, and I'm going to go up to the eraser tool, and I'm just going to cut across here, and then I'm going to direct select this shape here, and I'm going to copy it, which is Command C. Then I'm going to use the eraser tool, might need to zoom in a bit for this one, and I'm going to cut across. Don't cut in here, cut below it, just there. And then direct select this bit here, and you can delete it, and you can Command Shift V and paste in place, pop that to the back with Command Shift left square bracket, and then just Command right square bracket to bring it forward one. Change the color of it so we can see it's different, doesn't matter what it is. Select that color. Use the eraser again and just chop it across there. And then if you shift click, it will deselect that bit, keep that bit selected, and you can delete that one. So now what we've got is 1, 2, 3 separate shapes for our different gradient shadows. We're going to need another one in here to do this edge. So I'll come to that in a second. But for this one, select this with direct select and select this anchor point that's underneath. Just drag it to there, press P and hold Alt until you see the symbol change to an upturned V, and then direct select and drag it to this corner point here. And then over here, we're going to zoom in. We're going to select this anchor point with A and grab hold of just this handle. Now it looks like it's going to go wrong, but if we drag this handle all the way into that square and let go, this one then goes back to what it was. We can grab this guy and bring him over to about here and drag that handle in as well. And that's right, we've got that longer edge on there. This shape here we don't need to do anything with, that's fine. This shape here, I'm going to Command C, which is copy it, and then I'm going to select this point here, and I'm going to press P and wait for the minus to appear and get rid of that. Then I'm going to press A, get rid of these handles here and here. I'm going to select this object and bring it to that corner point there. If things aren't snapping in for you and you're not seeing these pink guide things, go up to View and hit Smart Guides and Snap to Point. I always have those selected when I'm designing anything. So then select these anchor points with A, and we're going to hit P, get rid of that one. We can keep this one. We'll just hit P and hold Alt and click, and then drag it over here, get rid of this anchor point there, and I'm going to Command Shift V again, send it all the way to the back with Command Shift left square bracket, and bring it forward with just Command right bracket. Just going to change the color of it for now to dark grey. I'm going to take this anchor point here in fact this one here, sorry, and drag this to the edge. Get rid of that anchor point. You can if you want to get rid of that one, doesn't really matter. And there we go. So now we've got this one to do. Select this object with A, click this one, drag it to that point, and press P, and we're going to add in. So when you go over this line, you'll see the plus appear, direct select, and drag it to that point there. So now we've got our 3D object underway. I'm going to select this shape here, and I'm going to color drop this shape. It's brought it around okay. I'm going to select that one, press I, color drop. That's okay, it's coming around there. I'm going to select this shape here, just hit the blue that we had in there. It was this one here. And then select this one and hit the blue, same blue again, but we're going to just add in some black until it's about 35%, and that's fine. Going to take this one as well, color drop the top, and we're just going to go ahead and select this one with A, and this one, and we can leave these two. So we need these three selected. 1, press Shift, 2, 3. I'm going to go up to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, and this new panel will appear. So these two gradient circles here, show saturation and show brightness. On the saturation, we're just going to bring it down a bit, and as we do, I'll just move this out of the way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's not going to move today. Bring this down to about there. Click on the brightness, bring the brightness up a bit. Go back to saturation, bring that down a bit, and that should be about right. Yeah, that looks about right. So the next thing we're going to do are these sort of slithers of highlights on the edges here, and they're really easy to do. I'm going to select this shape with A and this shape, and Command C, Command Shift V. I'm going to change it to black. I'm going to Command C, Command Shift V. I'm going to change that to grey. And with the cursors, I'm just going to move this up about a little bit. So if you're looking at this edge here, we want that to be even. So then you're going to select this shape with V and the black shape underneath with holding Shift. So you've got them both selected. Go to Pathfinder, minus front. That's worked. Select this one with V and the black one, minus front. That's worked as well. Now you can select the two with V, and we're going to make them white. You can see there's just a slither here that we don't want, so direct select this with A and just double delete. And this one selected. We're going to go to transparency, and underneath normal, we're going to hit overlay. Make sure this one's done, overlay. This one on the black stands out a lot more because it's grey underneath. So select this one and change the opacity to around 60%. And that should look okay. So that's our shiny edges in place. The next thing we're going to do with these two sort of glossy shadows on the top. So select this shape, hold V and Shift, select this shape, press Command C, Command Shift V. Going to change it to white or grey so we can see it. And then I'm going to zoom out a bit and draw an ellipse. Something around there. I can change this to black just so I can see it better. And around that size over there should do. With V, pick up this other shape here with Shift, and again, we're going to use intersect, which is going to leave us with this shape here, so that's fine. If I just jump back, I'm going to copy that circle actually, Command C, and jump forward, Command Shift V, and I'm going to use this over here, move it to about there with V, select that one up, and in this case you can minus front. So with these two selected, I'm just going to color drop what I've got here, and I'll show you what's going on in this transparency. Drag it to about there. So this transparency here, if we go to gradients, the it's a white gradient, a white color here and a white color at the other end. This one is 70% opacity and this one is 0% opacity. So what that does is it goes from 70 to 0. You can drag it roughly in that kind of direction until it looks about right. You don't want it to be too bright, just something that shows the light reflecting off it. Again, this one, if you drag this from about here to the end, it should look about right. Now, you can see on this one, I've done an indent. I've taken a stroke away so it cuts in a bit. If you want to do that, it's quite easy. Just select your shape that you've just made. Select the stroke color, pick anything, gray, and then if you go to stroke, align stroke inside, and the weight you want to be probably 4 or 5. We'll go with 5. Then go up to object, expand, and under Pathfinder, again minus front, and that just takes the edge off it. You can move this one around if you're not quite happy with where it's lined up. That looks about right. Take this one as well, put a grey stroke on it, stroke, align inside, up to 5, object, expand, and minus again. And that looks like it's pretty well lined up. So that is the 3D object. So now we're going to do this drop shadow. It's a bit of an unusual way of doing it. We're going to use the blend option, and we're basically going to do a stroke on these edges and create a grey stroke, and then down below a white stroke, and we're going to blend out those steps with 100 steps in between. So with direct select, you want to start by selecting that one, that one. Select these edges, these points along here, press Command C, Command Shift V, and you're going to get rid of the fill, and we're going to put the grey stroke on there. It's actually given me this extra point up here, so I don't want that. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So if you can see, if I drag it down, and we don't want that up there either. So we want that. That's what we want. So I'm going to leave that one there. I'm going to select this with direct select, and then select this point, hold shift, that point there, and that point there, Command C, Command Shift V. Again, it's giving me an extra point which I don't want. I'm just going to dump the fill color and put the grey stroke. I'm going to select that end one and get rid of that. Select that end one and get rid of that. So you can see now I've got the grey stroke there and there. I need to do it with this edge here, so press A, select that one, holding shift, that one, and that one. Command C, Command Shift V. Again, get rid of that point, get rid of that point, dump the fill, add the grey stroke, and last one here, 1, 2, 3, Command C, Command Shift V, get rid of that one, and get rid of that top one, dump the fill, add the stroke. There we go. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes which we're going to use. Under the, if you go up to edit, object, blend options, you want to select specified steps. You want to put in 100 and the orientation align to path, then click OK. Now if you select this one, hold shift, this one, and this one, holding Alt and Shift, click and drag down about there, or however deep you want your shadow to be. Now these, we're going to make them white, so they will technically disappear, but it'll be fine to pick them up because we roughly know where they are. So going to go ahead and hit white. We can still see some of them because they're over the existing colors. Now let's start with this one. So select the gray stroke and select the white stroke, holding shift, go up to object, blend, make, and that's what it's going to look like. So do it with this one as well. Select this one and keep moving around till you see it. There we go. Object, blend, make. This one, object, blend, make, and this one, object, blend, blend, make. So there we go. Now press V and select this one, and Command Shift left square bracket, and just Command right square bracket once. Same with this one, Command Shift left square bracket and Command Shift right square bracket once. And just this one, Command Shift to the back and Command right square bracket to bring it forward one. We're actually going to send this one to the back again and then bring it forward one, because then that needs to be behind that one. This one's fine as it is because that's in front. And in a nutshell, that is how to take a flat design and make it into a 3D glossy logo. I know that was quite a long one. I hope it wasn't too confusing. Please like and subscribe if you found that helpful, and I'll see you again next time.